A treasure trove of Switch patents was officially revealed today, and we have learned a whole bunch. What's going on, guys and girls? Gabe and myself are here to sift through all of this crazy information that was dropped today. These patents are back from June, but they were published today, and we learned a whole lot about the Switch, and we will roll through that list because it's pretty dense when you just look at the imagery and the text, but thanks to the good folk over at NeoGAF and Nintendo Everything, they have broken this down into much more digestible parts. Gabe, what is the coolest thing that stands out to you out of this list?
Coolest might not even be the word, because I personally haven't delved into VR like everybody else has. But I think that the fact that there was a head-mounted display / VR thing,
that's super unexpected and crazy.
Yeah, because this people wondered from the beginning, when the first Switch commercial happened, they're like, okay, can you put that thing on your head? Can you strap the screen to your head? And people thought that it was funny, because the Switch is a little bigger than a phone, for example.
Right.
So people thought it was funny, but apparently, there's a patent for it, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that Nintendo will decide to go into the VR market along with everybody else, because everybody is doing VR in some fashion.
Sure.
Except Microsoft at the moment, but they are just different and far off.
Well, and the thought is that eventually they partner with Oculus.
Yeah, well, yeah, they already ship controllers with them, and they already have a slight partnership. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Right. Yeah, and these patents aren't just because you patent something doesn't mean it's 100% coming to fruition. But a lot of this stuff is so darn spot on to rumors as well as to imagery that we've already seen. That majority of these, I think, are going to be there day and date with the launch of the console. The VR one, probably not at the beginning, but we have heard rumblings that Nintendo has, sort of delved into that realm, and also going forward, if they see a long life cycle for the Switch, having that potential there to add VR support in later or sort of create their own VR experiences is just smart business, right? Because you want to have the option to expand into the arenas that may be the most popular. This image, like you said, does look a little weird because that is a big tablet stuck to your face.
Yeah.
But a lot of the other stuff is more akin to what we've been hearing. So stuff like a touchscreen and touch panel is mentioned. So basically, there was sort of that discussion, is the Switch going to have a touchscreen? Some people said yes, some people said no. Some people thought because of the fact that it can play on the TV, it won't. But a further patent shows that there is an IR sensor, a pointer, in the right Joy-Con controller, which would allow you to simulate that touch functionality while playing on the big screen.
Yeah. I never understood the people that said, no, there's no way this thing has a touchscreen. This thing is a tablet. I saw no scenario where you wouldn't be able to interact with it, touch-wise. I hope that they don't, use that for gameplay at all, ever, but just for interface stuff, I see no reason why.
I think it was just the thought that it'll be difficult to convert that to TV play. But again, yeah, if it's more interface things or just a few minute sort of convenience features while you're on the go, yeah, that IR pointer can replicate that.
Okay, both Joy-Cons have rumble motors. That's kind of cool too.
And there's NFC in the right Joy-Con.
I was going to bring that up actually. What NFC has a lot of uses. It doesn't do any one thing really.
Right.
Well, it does. It makes
it'll do one primary thing for this.
Okay, what is it? Do you have a
amiibo scanning?
Oh, okay, never mind.
What do you mean that? That's one of my most prized collections.
Yeah, I'm not an amiibo person.
I love my amiibo. I'm excited just to see if they are able to sort of step their amiibo game up and have those toys.
Amiibo 2.0.
Yeah, Amiibo 2.0, do a little bit more. Gyro support is a thing. Another really interesting one to me is where they show 4 players playing on one TV with 4 Joy-Cons. So basically 2 full controllers split into 4 people for 4-player split screen. That's a small space for you to play, but I guess that's cool, just showing the different multiplayer options that they have. 2 players playing. We've seen in the trailer 2 players playing with half a controller, 1 Joy-Con each. In these patents, there are 2 players playing with 2 Joy-Cons, 2 full controllers.
Yeah.
And then there are 4 players playing with 1 Joy-Con, 2 full controllers. Just interesting to see that they are so committed to this local multiplayer.
And I'll do my best to put these images on screen, but if for some reason I don't and I just have gameplay up, I'm going to have the link in the description where you can go read this information and, you know, click through all the pictures and make it easy for you guys.
Yeah. And I think, you know, a lot of the other stuff is very minute, but there is even, you know, detailing on what all the different holes are, air vents, and where the kickstand goes, and which is the, you know, the USB-C port, and which is going to be the cartridge slot, which is the micro SD slot. Still,
I'm sorry. I'm going to stop you right there for a second because you said something that I really wanted to bring up, but I had already forgotten, but you reminded me. All right. How do you feel about the fact that you can't charge this thing while in kickstand mode? I don't think it matters at all, but
I don't think it matters, but it's like a very odd. I don't even understand. Like I'm trying to grapple with like how did that come about?
I don't know, but people were saying, "Hey, you can't charge this thing while it's in kickstand mode." And I mean, you had Laura, you know, she's one of the main like leaker. I mean, leaker is a weird word, but you know, she's released a lot of information that again has proven to be accurate. She does say like, yeah, you really can't charge this thing while in kickstand mode. But you
why is that again?
I don't know. I have no idea. But is the charger on just the bottom of it? Again, while it's standing there?
Yeah, maybe it's so it can't. Therefore, yeah, it can't plug in. You know, while it's being stood up.
That's what I figured, but.
Yeah,
I mean, pick it up when you're charging it, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a minor inconvenience. I think potentially, you know, outside of the VR, you know, future for this thing, to me, the best confirmation here is that there is the extra fan in the dock, so or the extra. You know, giving the extra power to the Switch or unlocking the extra power, not via any sort of upgraded processor, but just being able to cool the thing more and let it run hotter. I think that confirmation, so we know that the games will run, you know, prettier and better on the big screen. I think that's a nice thing to have officially confirmed.
Yeah, and I wanted to make a separate video on it, but, you know, there's been a lot of talk about how powerful the Switch is in general. As of late, and I kind of wish that we got some semblance of that from the patents here, but we don't. Like, so definitely be on the lookout for a video about that pretty soon. But other than that stuff, USB-C at this point is all but a certainty, right? Because there's been like way too many like indications that it has, including like one of the stills on from the Fallon show. It kind of like even like, just looks exactly like a USB-C port. So I feel like we can like safely say it has USB-C, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they show that there is apparently like the grip controller is like a battery pack. So the grip controller would be like the main controller they show with the two Joy-Cons sort of slapped on a base. And there's a sleep mode. There is reference that console mode has more power and more capability than portable mode. You know, I think if you're going to look at the bullet points here, it is the interesting note of VR. It is sort of the confirmation of touch and IR sensor. And then it would be, again, just that emphasis on that the dock is going to allow this thing to run better. Another interesting thing I think that sort of goes without being listed here is that so many of the rumors are being proven true. And therefore, you know, we look back at some of the other things we've covered, you know, in terms of the launch lineup and whatnot. Maybe those are pretty spot on as well.
I feel like they kind of have to be. I was thinking back, like, just has, you know, I'm sorry, I'm very forgetful. Has a Nintendo system ever launched without a Mario game?
I mean, let's see. So NES, yes. Super Nintendo, yes. N64, yes. GameCube, no.
Sunshine was not a launch game?
No.
Okay.
Wii,
yes.
Yes?
I believe so. And Wii U, definitely.
Wii U had New Super Mario Bros. U.
I'm counting that.
I don't know that we launched with New Super Mario Bros. Though. I believe it did not.
Okay. Didn't launch with any Mario. Okay, so it doesn't.
It could come. I mean, yeah. Most likely, I think that the lists we've seen are pretty spot on, especially given how spot on this stuff is, and especially given that these consoles have to be done. Right, this thing is done. Given the fact that more and more we see people confirming their attendance for mid-January events. Last night we also had confirmation that this thing is going to be at conventions in the first quarter before the launch of the system. So it's done. These patents further prove things that we've heard, and I think we're getting more and more. I mean, I think you can pretty much pretty much pencil in exactly what this thing is.
You can be
minus,
open about the fact that you're going to
surprises.
see it in January. Like everyone's open about that, by the way. So you're good with.
Yeah, I will be seeing it in January. We will be seeing it in January, and I think again, just the exciting thing is that there are no negative surprises here. We don't go see this and go, oh crap, or oh god, this is omitted or this is missing. Everything that we've kind of been hearing and piecing together is here, and it all looks like it's heading in the right direction. And I do think it's smart that Nintendo is forward thinking with the VR, even if VR isn't mine and your favorite cup of tea. It is something that could be a big part of tech and future, so why not have that be there? Also, shoulder buttons on the Joy-Cons is a great confirmation. Supposedly they are analog shoulder buttons, which kind of ties back to the GameCube Virtual Console stuff. And yeah, dig through these pictures. It's interesting, just kind of look. There's some alternate configurations for Joy-Cons. That's one thing I'm most curious about. How many controllers do they sell, and what kind of variations do they put in there? How accessory heavy are they going to go with this thing?
The mock-ups that I have shown you. I'm on the Nintendo Switch subreddit a lot. And like people show these like very cool mock-ups of like the Super Nintendo version of the Joy-Cons, or like the N64 one where like the Joy-Con basically turned the Switch into like an N64. The picture I had texted you the other day, like things like that are so cool. I don't know if Nintendo ever does them, but how amazing would that be?
I think those things look incredibly cool, and it would be a nice callback, throwback to their previous systems, especially tied in with Virtual Console. It would be really, really cool. But yeah, piece through these pictures. Let us know if you find anything interesting or any extra bits that we did not mention here. The Switch is steamrolling ahead for that January 12th reveal. We're almost there, and now we have even more confirmation of what this bad boy can do. For myself and young Gabriel, Switch Force out.